It's been decades since Jay Silverheels, beloved as Tonto from the Lone Ranger, rode off into legend, but just 1 minute ago, new evidence has surfaced that's rewriting everything we thought we knew about his final years. Investigators digging through unsealed Hollywood archives have stumbled upon a trail of hidden documents, lost film reels, and contradictory testimonies that suggest Jay may have spent his final days guarding a dangerous secret. What was he trying to reveal, and why was it erased from history? Before we uncover this chilling revelation, make sure you're ready, because what you're about to learn about Jay Silverheels' mysterious final years changes everything. To millions, Jay Silverheels was more than a sidekick. He was a symbol of loyalty, courage, and quiet dignity. But behind that composed exterior was a man wrestling with betrayal and disillusionment. Born Harold J. Smith of the Mohawk Nation, Jay spent much of his career fighting Hollywood's racism and cultural stereotypes. Yet as time went on, those close to him noticed unsettling changes. He grew withdrawn, spoke cryptically about unfinished business, and met privately with strangers no one could identify. Before his health declined, he became obsessed with recovering a lost journal that he claimed held the truth about the Lone Ranger's creation. Friends dismissed it as old-age paranoia, but others believed him. A co-star recalled Jay once saying, "They didn't just take my role, they took something sacred." Days after he was hospitalized, his office was ransacked. The only thing missing was a small locked box hidden beneath the floorboards. It was never seen again, and no report was ever filed. Whatever Jay had been protecting vanished without a trace. Following his death in 1980, his family quietly handled his estate, but whispers about the missing box refused to fade. Some said it contained notes exposing how studios had stolen native stories, others believed it held correspondence proving he'd been threatened. Then in 2004, a faded photograph surfaced at a Los Angeles memorabilia auction, Jay, standing beside several men in dark suits, none from the entertainment world. The photo's reverse read, in his handwriting, "They didn't want this story told." Experts confirmed the image was genuine and taken on a restricted film lot used by government contractors in the 1950s. Why was Jay, a TV actor, meeting men linked to intelligence agencies? Declassified records later revealed a secret government-backed initiative meant to reshape indigenous portrayals in media. Jay, initially hopeful about positive change, later realized the project's purpose was propaganda, to rewrite Native identity into a patriotic narrative. He tried to push back but soon found himself blacklisted. Friends said he grew fearful, claiming his mail was tampered with, his phone tapped. "They took more than my character," he confided. "They took my voice." Soon after, his archives disappeared overnight. Historians revisiting Jay's career later discovered disturbing patterns. Production logs from the Lone Ranger showed altered entries, missing reels, and coded memos referring to him as Subject Silverbird. The documents linked him to a classified study on media influence and indigenous perception. Around this time, federal agencies were quietly collaborating with studios under programs like Operation Mirror Screen, using popular shows to shape American attitudes. Jay's private notes, one of which later surfaced, revealed his frustration. "They don't want Tonto strong, they want him silent." When he questioned script changes and shadowy funding sources, he was labeled difficult and pushed out of major roles. Not long after, his health rapidly declined from a sudden series of strokes. His daughter later found his office stripped bare, his notes, typewriter, and film reels all gone. To his closest friend, his final words were chilling: "If the truth gets out, they'll erase me." In 1998, a retired film technician named Harold McGinnis uncovered a sealed crate labeled Silver Project, Confidential. Inside were burned film reels and a charred notebook filled with Jay's handwriting. Phrases like "external command orders" and "integrity suppressed for agenda continuity" hinted at interference from outside the studio. Before the materials could be archived, McGinnis's contact's office was burglarized. The only items stolen were Jay's recovered files. Around the same time, Freedom of Information requests revealed government monitoring partnerships with several studios, listing Jay twice under non-compliant talent. Witnesses confirmed he often rewrote Tonto's lines to include authentic Mohawk speech, efforts producers repeatedly deleted. "If I can't make him real," Jay once said, "he's just a shadow." By the late 1970s, Jay retreated entirely from Hollywood, supporting small native theater groups while isolating himself from the public. Family members described paranoia, sleepless nights, and claims of being followed. Days before his death, he reportedly told his daughter he had hidden something they'll never find. The mystery might have ended there, but in 2019, independent filmmaker Daniel Roach discovered mislabeled film canisters from a forgotten studio estate. Inside were alternate versions of the Lone Ranger episodes showing Tonto as an equal partner, leading scenes and challenging the Ranger, footage stamped "rejected" and "not for distribution." Most startling was a silent clip of Jay facing the camera, clearly mouthing the words, "They changed everything." Weeks later, Roach's studio burned down under suspicious circumstances, though cloud backups of the footage survived. Experts authenticated the film as genuine 1950s stock. The footage reignited public outrage and proved that Jay's warnings had merit. His vision had been systematically erased. Anonymous insiders admitted that Jay's resistance was seen as a threat to stability. Even his family confirmed they'd been told to stay silent for safety reasons. For decades, Hollywood had buried not just his truth, but his courage. The turning point came in 2023 when a whistleblower known only as Marla uncovered microfilms hidden in an abandoned studio archive. The files contained memos between executives and government consultants referring to Subject Silverheels and recommending narrative containment. One 1955 document titled Character Recalibration Orders instructed writers to make Tonto less assertive, more deferential. It coincided precisely with Jay's contract changes and the abrupt cancellation of projects he was developing independently. Another document revealed a budget called Public Harmony Initiatives, which funneled government funds into TV productions to influence cultural perception, proving that Jay had stumbled onto a psychological operation disguised as entertainment. When these microfilms leaked, Jay's name trended worldwide as the face of creative resistance, though most of the files quickly vanished under copyright claims and legal threats. Once again, attempts to suppress his truth mirrored the very conspiracy he'd warned about. Now, over 40 years after Jay Silverheels' death, investigators and documentarians are piecing together the evidence he tried to preserve. More than 20 Lone Ranger episodes were found to have been altered, scenes reshot, dialogue redubbed, and archives destroyed. Internal memos described his efforts for authenticity as unauthorized expression.